Fortnite just has a lot of gameplay features sort of riding away that many people don't think about ever again. I mean, at this point, I think even Epic has forgotten about them too. Over the past couple of years, we've had a bazillion features get added into the game with massive potential. Whether they would be in the form of an item, weapon, or gameplay addition, all would bring a unique flavor to the land of Fortnite. I'm talking things like the boombox from Season 7, an item that slowly destroys builds, which inspired the ear splitter weapon in Save the World. The reboot vans, which barely get any updates aside from additional perks or upgrades like the recently added feature to purchase reboot cards. I'm talking even OG weapons like the guided missile or infinity blade would have to be two of my favorite weapons in the game, now severely nerfed to what their peaks were like. Even rift zones, a concept that Epic barely taps into anymore, where specific locations would have specific gameplay features attached to them, but they shouldn't be left to dust. And so in today's video, I thought it would be fun to talk about a couple of Fortnite's forgotten or underutilized features in the game and explain how they can make a comeback in a unique and exciting way. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. Starting off with arguably one of the most controversial additions to the game, we need to talk about the Mechs, aka the Brute, introduced in Season X and has only ever made a return once near the end of Chapter 2, Season 8. This has got to be one of the most creative additions to the game, allowing players to control a mech in-game. I mean, that's sick. Now yes, a lot of people hate the Mechs, which is probably the reason as to why they haven't made a return as much, but even so, there is a ton of people who like them. And as someone who had a love-hate relationship with them, I think that there has to be a way to bring these back into the game. With the Fortnite OG game mode, it's highly likely that we can be seeing them make a return in about a year or so when it comes time for Season X. But I would love for them to make a form of return sooner rather than later in other modes such as regular VR. We used to have them in creative, but got taken away from us once people figured out how to glitch out of maps with them. They'll most likely get added back in it though once Fortnite OG Season X gets them, similar to how the electric traps, guided missile, and Gravitron were finally given to us to keep. Potential for different types of mechs would go insane, like how the Brute was changed to a salvaged version in Chapter 2 Season 8. And imagine full-on design changes for new variations like how Titanfall throws it down over there. I mean, am I not the only one thinking Ninjago or Tenkai Knights, for those who know, styled mechs? I mean, those would go insanely hard this chapter. Sword-wielding robotic samurai that we can pilot? Look, as long as Epic finds a way to balance them right and make them super fun, I'm actually down for it. But mechs aren't the only thing I've been thinking about lately. Do y'all remember the Gravitron? Introduced back in Chapter 2 Season 7 for the Alien season, only given to us then and never seen again. The Gravitron literally allowed you to pick up objects and throw them at people. You could pick up vehicles and chuck them at opponents, or grab a fired rocket and aim it back at someone. Now the reason for this weapon or item not returning would probably have to do with how buggy and broken it would be. Must be a pain for Epic to get this thing working again in modern seasons, but if they can, imagine the clips that would come from it. An updated version of the Gravitron that would be able to pick up more than just props, loot, and vehicles would make it so much more fun than it already was. Being able to possibly pick up players and send them flying would be hilarious. I'm sure Epic can make it possible to bring this back and have it in creative one day. The physics in-game nowadays are just a lot more smoother and refined, so all the potential bugs or glitches that may come from it could be patched out. I would love to see a mythic version of this, and imagine the only way to obtain it is by defeating a boss using it against you. Just saying, next season is a sci-fi themed one, so it might be a neat idea to bring it back then. If this were to be brought back once again, I'm sure the community would go crazy, and the clips that would arise would be insane. Next, I do want to talk about the traps in general. Epic, you know that many people love the traps, especially after seeing the reception they got from being brought back during Fortnite OG. I get that they can be frustrating for players sometimes, but there has to be a way to make these obtainable in-game again with possibly newer versions. If we take a look at Save the World, there are over a dozen traps to choose from. It would be amazing to see them get translated into Battle Royale. Healing pads like the campfires, floor spikes that inflict damage when walked upon, and even the ceiling gas trap that can be used to blind and inflict damage on players over time. Not all need to be a one-shot kill, and when used could allow players to play smart and not rush into people's boxes all the time. Even designing newer ones that fit with the season's theme, like imagine a laser trap that when set could damage the opponent and alert you of their location, marking them for a short period of time. These can be set around vaults and make looting them just a tad more difficult. Speaking of vaults, I would love to see the return of phone booths again. Introduced back in Chapter 2 Season 2 and brought back during Fortnite Remix. These were killer additions to the game that gave an element of surprise. Being able to change your disguise to one of the henchmen patrolling an area not only allowed you to get the jump on a player, but even made it easier to loot in peace. Bringing these back would help players with getting their challenges done and not always getting rushed off the start. Things can get a little hectic at times with all the NPCs shooting at you while real players are roaming in the background and loud music is blaring at the location. But with the addition of the phone booths again, you can get away from all of that. This would also bring back the silliness of blending in and trolling your opponents. Definitely, if these were to be brought back, give them some season flair too. Not every version of these booths need to look identical with the same red color and design from previous seasons. And the final underutilized feature I'd like to talk about today is the Anvil Launcher. Epic, you mean to tell me that during a season primarily based around heavily modified armored vehicles, you couldn't have added this weapon into the game? Its whole purpose is to lock onto vehicles and blow them up. This thing is incredibly hard to get an elimination with, and you guys add it during these seasons where it's least needed. Please, if next season the TIE Fighters and X-Wing become too overpowered, will you answer the call and add this into the game? I don't want boogie bombs, I don't want EMPs, I want pure chaos and destruction. The thrill of this thing being fired and trying to outspeed it in a sci-fi jet will be unmatched to anything we've ever seen yet in Fortnite. Do not fumble this, please, Epic. But anyways, those have been some of the underutilized gameplay features in Fortnite and how Epic could bring these back in some unique and exciting ways that could freshen up and improve how the game is played today. It would be really cool to see a lot of these return and make a comeback. As mentioned though, there are a ton more of these that I would love to come up with fun ideas for, and so I would totally be down to talk about them with you guys in a future video. But let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think? And what kind of features do you think are underutilized in the land of Fortnite? As always, I want to thank all of you for watching today's video. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and use code TrulyMystic in the item shop if you would like to support me there. Now I hope you all have a wonderful day or night, and I will catch you in the next one. It's TrulyMystic, and until then, peace.